All right, hello. I've been making these journal video journals for several days this past week now, and I keep thinking I want to put one on my YouTube, but I just haven't done it. I'm gonna try and make this the one because normally my videos are like upbeat, if not quirky, and like maliciously quirky. Like they're like apparently trying to be funny with quirky, snarky quips and things. And if they're not that, I'm trying to be serious and if not philosophically religious, and I'm trying to make good points, and I'm trying to be real and vulnerable and passionately compassionate, like, like sincerely honest. And I kind of waver between those two spectrums, but I'm not normally sad. I don't think I express a lot of sadness on my channel, and the reality is I get sad. I get depressed, and um, I want to be real about that. I want to be honest about that. I want to see people care, and I want to be cared for. And I'm not sure I people very well all the time because I've been told it's better to see others than to be seen. There's a joy in serving and helping others that just isn't in being served and cared for, and they're not necessarily compatible. They're like mutually exclusive, but they're both a kind of joy. And I know these different joys. I know them, but when I get as sad as I am, when I get as sad as I can be, I'm really not able to go to a place where I can care so much about other people in a way that puts me away, because my sadness is so real. It demands attention, it demands presence, it demands being attuned to and cared for, and oftentimes it doesn't get it the way it wants it or the way I need it. And so, like today when I went to a little dinner thing I had every Tuesday, I'm invited to. I almost didn't go because I'm so depressed. I didn't want to be with people because I knew it would catch and drag them down. But I went anyway because the reality is I don't have a lot of food in my cupboards. And what food I do have requires making it. And it requires like utensils and pots and stuff. And I already have one pan in my sink that's been in there for 2 or 3 months that has just been collecting water and, recycling that process, just sitting there over and over for months. And I'm like, I don't want to add to it. And I know I'm not going to do anything different. So I just choose not to. I choose not to cook because I know that it won't really ultimately be good in the long run. And so I went to this dinner thing I have every week. I'm invited to anyway, despite my initial ideas about why I shouldn't. Because I rationed, at least I'll get a free meal, and I can just bolt after that. I don't have to stay for the liturgy or anything. And I thought there for a second when I got there I would stay. It felt good to be with people. It really did. But it turned into something where I couldn't hear them because my hearing is so bad, and I don't care enough about myself to keep asking them, "What? Huh? Could you speak up? I can't hear you." Because all it becomes is a repetitious annoyance. My hearing is so bad, I can't expect people to keep up with me for my sake, because my hearing is bad. And so, when it came time for Vespers, I left. And I just feel terrible. I don't know why I said that, but It's indicative of the mood, I guess. I'm sad. I do dumb things when I'm sad. And even though I knew it would have been better to stay there and be with people, I left because I couldn't hear them and I didn't want to be part of that. I didn't want to have to stand up and love myself by saying, "Excuse me, I can't hear you." Or like, guys, I cannot hear anything you're saying. Please, you've got to speak up when I'm around. Like, I didn't want to be doing any of that, and so I just didn't stand up for myself, so to say. I let myself go, and I left. As not a protest to them, but as a hatred of myself. And I knew what I was doing. I knew! And I did it anyway. It's just too easy for me to do. And that's just one example. Sunday night, this past Sunday, I felt so absolutely terrible. I felt like I was going to scream and pull my hair out and cry, and I didn't think there was anyone who could hear if they wanted to hear. Didn't think there was anyone who could possibly want to spend the time on me, and because they've all got their own lives. Everyone has their own things, and I can't be the forefront of anyone. So I don't try to ask people for help like that. I mean, I'll text them and say I'm struggling or something, but yeah, I think I need more than that. I just try and do the bare minimal to get by, and doesn't seem enough, but somehow I managed to keep getting by, I guess, thanks be to God. But it's hard lately. It's hard these last couple days. Monday was kind of okay. I ended up participating in a thing on husband material, and like a group thing in their coursework or whatever, but that was just a couple hours, and I was only there for half an hour, really. It flowed for an hour or two after that, but today got regular, and I got depressed again, not happy anymore. It's the cycle, and I can't tell you how much I absolutely hate the ups and downs of my emotions. I was classified as bipolar when I was 15 or so, and Alexa, shut up. I wasn't talking to you. That's what I thought. Shut up. I didn't even say her name. Goodness. What a waste of life. And even though I hate these highs and lows of my emotions, I think it stands more true to reason that my recent diagnosis of borderline personality disorder is probably more accurate. I've done research. My psychiatrist says I have that. And, I know he has his degree and done his studies and has his years. I still don't think it's unfair for me to argue with him. Not that I argue with him, but to have my own opinion. I don't believe it's right or safe to just blanket statement trust people as if they're on a pedestal higher above you. Sacrificing your rights and opinions leads to troubles and issues very well deserved of their own. I can't keep doing that. So, all that to say, the DSM-5, or whatever it is now, has criteria for BPD, and there are 9 qualifications, of which you must have at least 5. I have at least 3, if not 4. But I'm pretty damn sure I don't have 5. So, it's a stretch that I'm qualified or diagnosable, but that's what he has said anyway. So, I go with it because I think it makes sense that I'm more than not. I can just keep seeing how it makes sense, one of the things that are characteristic, I think, if I understand correctly, is that it obviously, most people recite these kind of things when it comes to relationships and connection forms, through texting. So, I've heard a lot of people say, well, you'll just get really upset and you love this person to smithereens, and you'll text them to ask them, if you want to do something, and they'll forget and won't get to you until 2 days later, and then they say they're sorry, but by that point you absolutely hate their guts because they ignored you and abandoned you. And it's very far removed from what would be normally considered relational conduct, and it's not true either. Like, they don't hate you and they haven't abandoned you. They just got busy and forgot. It's like, you gotta give them some grace. But I'm not, I can be that way, but I'm not so much that way as much as I was. I noticed this yesterday about another thing. I was emotional, was having a bad day, and I felt very dysregulated. And there, of course, I can't attune to myself because I'm not worth it, and there's no one else. So I go to get some food at a restaurant, and the food is messy, and it shouldn't be so messy. So I'm like inordinately angry. I'm like beyond. I want to take this burger, and I don't want to throw it away. I don't want to throw it even. I literally want to go back to the kitchen, and I want to take this burger, this messy, slimy concoction of a burger, and I want to slam it in the person's face and say, if you can't do it right, don't freaking do it. I'm so angry because I want to eat my food and I want it to taste good, not be a mess. I hate messy food. I hate it on my hands. I hate it on my shirt. I hate it everywhere. I don't want it. Make it right. And you see the vivid frustration in me now about it. But I realize that is completely insane. Not that person's not against me. They're not trying to ruffle my feathers. They're not even trying to do their job bad. I bet they just kind of are throwing things together quickly because it requires it. And here, I could not get over the fact that my burger was messy. And it's not the end of the world. Like, I can just... And it's back together. I can maybe, even if I have to, wipe it with napkins if it's such a big deal. Like, I can eat it just fine. But, like, I got so upset. And that's the kind of thing that is not normal. That is the kind of thing that I went from 0 to 100% negative behaviorally induced or whatever emotion that is classified, or I think is by borderline personality disorder. And it happens more and it happens easier when I'm upset, when I'm already dysregulated. Because at that point my mind doesn't want to try to be better. It doesn't want to try and do the right thing. It just wants to exist in its misery. Anyway, I don't honestly know what I intend to do with this channel. Like, I know what I want to do, but I also have been doing it for a couple of years now, and I get less than mediocre results. I mean, seriously, like, I'm doing things in ways that maybe cinematographically or transitionally, like video editing wise, they're not great. They're hardly great. But the content is still real and good and true. And I see other guys who may do better, graphically speaking, in their video editing. But they're also... I mean, I see a lot of people doing the same thing I'm trying to do on their YouTube channel, and they get hundreds of thousands of views, and I sure as hell can't help but notice how thin they are, and how pretty they are, and how beautiful their hair is, and how they have such a resoundingly nice voice. Like, you could just sleep with it, or fall asleep to it. Like, I can't help but notice that these guys are just so beautiful. And I tell you what, the world wants that. So, like, I'm pretty sure that half of my issues are not video editing or that my content is bad. It's that the algorithms don't match and people don't find me pretty because I'm not. So who's going to come to me? And I find that upsetting, too. Like, I can't say 100%. I can't blame it all on the system. But I know being pretty and beautiful sure helps. I've literally watched videos of guys who uh, have said, like, I got off YouTube, I got off social media, and I quit the whole modeling or whatever thing they were doing because they were drop dead gorgeous, and they said people were literally just handing me things. They were just giving me what I wanted, giving me what I needed because I was so beautiful, and they just wanted to see more of all that I was. And they were so perturbed by this that they were like, I don't want to be part of that system. And yet, I hate to break it to that guy, the system persists and prevails anyway. It's not going to go away because he figures it out. Um, Nor is it going to go away because I see it and recognize I'm at the other end of the spectrum. It doesn't change things. It sounds so cynical. But I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm just trying to be real. And for whatever it's worth, I'm going to get to bed. So I'm going to call it good there. And I'm going to upload this maybe tomorrow. See you guys.